Welcome back, guys. It's thrift flip time. In today's video, I am going to be taking you with me through some fairly easy thrift flips. Most of these just involve a little bit of wax or paint, and I am staying off the screen today. If you can hear, I apologize. I have like a sinus situation going on, so I'm a bit clogged up. I will try to speak as little as I can throughout. Let's go ahead and get started. As we do with any of our flip projects, we're going to remove all of the stickers. We're going to clean them up really good and throw away any of the items that are no longer wanted or needed. For me, that's going to be these old flowers. They're not even worth saving. They're in pretty bad condition. And then the floral block that was inside there. I'm going to clean that out really good, wipe everything down, get it cleaned up really well, and then we can move on to the next section. I'm going to be starting out with this beautiful white wall piece that I picked up. It lost part of my footage. Some of my things got corrupted somehow, but I did go in and lightly wax this with the mixture of Sage and Seaside Villa from Folk Art, which is a chalk paint. I mixed both of those with a little bit of clear wax and just the slightest hint of green, and I waxed the entire thing. And now I'm going in with my Krylon gold leafing pen, and I'm just going to be hitting all of the hard edges and indents to give it a pop of color. I really like that gold against the white, so I'm going to do that in all of the crevices, and we're going to call this project good. It was nice and simple, but very elegant, and I am happy with how this turned out. Next, I'm working on this cute little vase that I picked up. I believe it's a resin. It's pretty heavy. It's really good quality. And I'm just going to take some white chalk paint and I'm going to brush it over the entire thing. I'm going to let it dry and then I'm going to wet distress it. I started out with a wet paper towel, but then I did move to a wet like microfiber rag. And I'm going to be using this exact same technique on the next several pieces. So I'm going to do this vase, and then this really pretty, I don't even know what it is, item that I also found. And then once we're done with that one, I found these three beautiful candle holders or candlesticks that are beautiful, and I'm going to do the same thing again. Apply just the white chalk paint over everything, let it dry, and then wet distress. And when you wet distress, you don't want your whatever you're using, paper towel, rag, whatever, to be super wet. You want it to be damp, but nothing comes out when you wring it, and you're just gonna kind of rub it down just like you would if you were sanding it down to the amount of distress that you like. For all of these items, I then did seal it with the Rust-Oleum, the Rust-Oleum 2X clear coat, and that just helped seal that paint to the item, and they all turned out absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna let you guys watch me go through this process. I think it's really relaxing, and I found this flip very therapeutic because it was not much brain work. It was a lot of just physical work, and I kind of just gotta sit with myself and get away from everything else for a while. guys should let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite item or what you would have done different if you had an item similar to this. I would love to hear your thoughts. The next thing we have is this little metal wall hanging basket. I don't like the color of this, but I wanted to keep it in the yellow family, so I just took some of that Waverly clear wax. I mixed it with a little bit of a bright yellow acrylic paint to make my own tinted wax again, and then I just brushed that on there and then wiped off all of the excess. I let that dry, and then I did 2 more layers, lightening that yellow each time. That way it would give it a little bit more texture and dimension and brighten it up a little bit, because I just felt like it looked a little dull. So that's all I did for this. After the wax dried, I just added some florals that I picked up from Walmart, and I do show you all of the items completely done and staged at the end. This project is probably my favorite of the entire bunch. I found this wooden tall vase, or like little barrel, and I wanted to flip this to be able to put some really tall big flowers into it. So I started by just cleaning it up, sanding it down a little bit, and painting it completely black with black acrylic paint. Once that layer was done, which I only did 1 layer, I went ahead and sealed it in with some polyacrylic. I'm doing this because I am going to do some white chalk paint over top, and I'm going to sand it down, which will let that black show through, but I want to make sure it doesn't gray my paint at all or muddy it up at all whenever I'm painting over it or sanding it. After I've sanded it and distressed it to where I want it to be, I did go ahead and seal it again with some polyacrylic. I'm doing this because I'm adding a stencil, and I want to make sure that my paint is set and sealed before I put the stencil on, in hopes that it will not peel any of that up. I don't know what happened, but it didn't go great, and I'm going to show you that. I am transferring it with my masking tape transfer tape, and I'm going to seal it in with some Mod Podge, just some regular Mod Podge. This will keep the paint color that I'm painting the letters in from seeping under. It'll kind of seal off the stencil. And then I went ahead and used that same black acrylic paint to stencil this on. However, once I was done here, I went to pull off that vinyl, and I don't know what happened. Chaos ensued, and it did not work. So we went in old school and just hand painted this on there. I had somewhat of a guideline to go through or go from, but yeah, I just hand painted that on and then sealed it with some polyacrylic, and it is all done. I absolutely love this one. So please let me know what you guys think about these projects. Which one was your favorite? What would you do differently? I really appreciate you being here. If you like this content, give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe and join us on our crafting journey. If you're returning, you know I love you. So happy to always have your support, and I'm going to take you in for a closer look. I'll see you next time.